In this video, we're going to do 8.09 editor. Alright, so I have the file downloaded and opened up in DrRacket. So it says design a very simple one-line text editor, similar to a chat box on an instant messenger like Discord, Facebook, and etc. So here it is right here. I'm dragging it around. And your text editor should have the following functionality. When you type, characters should be inserted on the left side of the cursor. So let me just type in like, hey guys. So what's left of the red cursor? Well, it's the Y character. So as I type in the key like A, it always inserts from the left side. All right. When you press the left and right arrow keys, the cursor should move accordingly. So left and right is moving accordingly. When you press backspace or delete on a Mac, the last character on the left of the cursor should be deleted. So what's left of this red cursor? Well, it's Y. So if I delete that, it's going to be he guys. All right, so just standard editor, text editor functionality. All right, hint, we have done some helper functions for this problem. String first, string last, string rest, and string remove last. But they did not handle the empty string case. So I would handle the empty string case. All right, note that the constants and data definitions have been provided for you. Complete the function step. So here are all the constants already done for us, and here is the data definitions already done for us. Let's quickly review the data def. All right. So we have a structure, which is an editor, and editor is make editor string. So there are strings in this field. Pre is the text before the cursor. Post is the text after. So here is an empty editor. Here's an example of the cursor being in the middle. So if I do something like that, there's no space because there's no space character in these. So it's going to be hey guys with the cursor in the middle. So this represents that right over here. All right. End. So something like where the cursor is at the end, like this. That means that all the text is in the pre field. That makes sense because pre is the text before the cursor. So this is all the text before the cursor. Hey guys, there's nothing to the right of this red cursor. All right. And beginning, which stands for beg, cursor at the beginning. So the cursor is like over there. So we just move the cursor over there. And that means that the editor data, right, the data state should have all the character in the post field and nothing in the pre field, right? Because there's nothing to the left of this red cursor. All right. So now let's go over the helper functions one last time, right? I encourage you to pause the video and write these functions out. We have done these in the past, so you may want to go back and adjust them. They do need to handle the case of the empty strings though. So pause the video and try to do all these helper functions, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 helper functions in total. All right, so I'm assuming that you guys took a good swing at it. I'm not going to write it in this video because for, the sake of time, I'm just going to copy and paste the ones I did earlier. So there we go. And let's just quickly review them. All right. So we have string last, which produces the last character of the string. So given ABC, string last of ABC produce C. String rest produces the rest of the string excluding the first character. So given the string rest of ABC produce BC. So we're stripping the A, we only want the rest. So that's only BC. String remove last produce the given string with the last character removed. So here's ABC, right? String remove last of ABC is AB because we want to remove that last one over there. And then we have string first, right? It produces the first character of a given string. So string first of ABC, we only want the first character, right? Only the first, and produce A. And all these have checks against the empty string, right? So if the length of the string is 0, then we just give back an empty string. All right. So now let's move on to the Big Bang options with the main function over here. So here we go. Let's see, try to pause the video and see which ones we need. I'm gonna go over spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. All right, so we don't need stop when because this program's not really gonna stop. On key, yes, we do need keyboard interaction, but we don't need mouse interaction. So we don't need on mouse, and we don't really need on tick either because nothing's happening automatically, right? If this red cursor was blinking, then we would need on tick because that it needs to happen at a specific rate where it like flashes from red to white to red to white, but we're not really doing that in this exercise, so we don't even need on tick either. Right, we're gonna need on key and to draw it out. All right, so we don't even need this stub of the talk function anymore. All right, so pause the video and try to work through the onKey function, right? Let's map it to handle key. And I'm gonna change, these WS to editor. So let's see, editor, because that's the new world state. So all right. So now let me grab the helper function for handle key. I could write it out myself, but hey, might as well go and grab it. So here's handle key from the templates. And let's just paste it down here. And let's also rename it to editor, like so, because that is the new world state. All right, so pause the video and try to work through the handle key function. I am going to go over spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. All right, so I'm assuming that you guys took a good swing at it. So this is a big project scale problem, so don't fret. It's not like any of the exercises you've done before. It's a little complicated, so don't fret if you don't get it the first time. So let's go over how we should do handle key, all right? So you may need to, get out on a piece of paper or draw on a notepad to handle all these cases, right? So all the cases listed over here that you have to handle in the problem statement. All right, so I have done a sketch of what I needed to do. All right, so we have to handle a case where we insert, a character like A to the end. So this is like the initial cursor state, right? So make editor, hey guys, and we want to add an A. We stick it to the end of here. And likewise, adding Z to the left of the cursor of Hayes, right? Hey, this is where the cursor is, and the Z over there, and etc. All right, so I'm gonna go over all those cases shortly enough. So you should be writing tests like so for all these cases. Adding, moving the cursor, and deleting stuff. Moving the cursor left and right and deleting stuff. All right, so for the sake of time, I already pre-written those, and I'm just gonna copy and paste them and then go over them. Don't want this video to be too long. So copy and paste Reno. So here are all my tests, all right? And let's just quickly stub this function out so we can, make sure that nothing is in our test is crashing. So we know at the end of the day, we have to produce an editor. So this has to be make editor. So there we go. And there we go. And a stub would be like empty strings, right? Make editor needs 2 fields pre and post. So we have to give it 2 arguments like so. All right, so let's run it against our tests. And we get just mismatches, which is fine. All right, so I'm just going to delete the stub now. There we go. And let's work on the handle key. All right, so now really pause the video, right? This should be all the mental scaffolding needed to really solve the problem. It's a bit nuanced though. So I'm going to go over spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. All right, so I'm assuming that you guys took a good swing at it. So again, we know at the end of the day, we need to do a make editor here, right? So something like this. All right, just gonna fill in those 2 fields. There we go. All right, so let's start with the backspace key, all right? So make editor, hey guys, where's the cursor here? Well, the cursor is, let me illustrate this over here. So the cursor is right at Y, because this post field, right? This is all the characters to the left of the red cursor. And space guys is all the characters to the right cursor. So if I press /B, which stands for backspace, right? The editor state should produce he guys. He is in pre, and then space guys is in post. So let's just handle that case. So we're going to do /B. All right, and I'm going to split this into another line just to make it easier to see. So the motion we want is we want to, let's see, hey guys, we want to delete the Y off the pre, and the post stays exactly the same. So let's just do that. So we can use our helper functions. That's why we needed it for this problem. So let's see, what deletes the first character? Wait, the last character, right? Because we want he guys, we don't want the Y. And that is string remove last. So let's just use that. All right, string remove last. So string remove last, we're gonna need that. And we want to apply this function to the pre field. So I can use this template over here. Just a reminder, I'm just gonna copy and paste those right down now to remind me that I could use those fields. Because again, the common problem is, let's just paste it here for now. is that, spatial awareness, it's hard to sort of see what you can use. So I'm just going to have these down here. So we want to apply string remove last to the pre-field, like so. And the post field stays exactly the same, right? Space guys stays exactly the same. We only remove the y of this last case. So there we go. And we want a make editor where the last character is removed. And I'm going to space this down also as well. All right, so that is the /b case. All right, and let's move on to the left. All right, so when we press the left key, so the editor is hey guys, so this is where the editor is right now. Hey guys, all right, space guys, and we press the left arrow key like so, like that. Well, now we want to get the y, right, delete it from pre, and then stick it in the post field, right? That's how we get these two to match. All right, so hey guys, get that y out of there. This now the post becomes, well, the pre becomes he, and then the y gets stuck to the post field, right? The beginning of the post field. So pause the video and try to work through this scenario, right? If I can click it, yeah, the left. All right, so let's just go over that. So if the key, KE, question mark, KE, was the left arrow key that was pressed, right? We know we gotta make an editor. All right. All right. So we got to take the y from hey guys. So is there something in our helper functions that gets the last character, right? Let's see. We want the y to be appended here. Let's start with this first. We want to make it he. And we did that with, the backspace. Wait, we just want to string remove last, editor dash pre. So we can just copy and paste that there. There we go. And for this second field here, we want to do a string append, right? We want to grab this y and then stick it to the post field. So we know we need a string append. All right, so string append. And then we want to grab the y. So is there a character that gets me the last? Let's see, a help function, I mean. String remove last. String first, string rest, string last produces the last character of the given string, right? So given ABC, we only want the C, like so. So that seems to fulfill our purposes. So we're going to need to use string last. Let's see. Here we go. String append, string last of editor pre, right? So that gets us the y over here. And then we have to append it to space guys, which is already in post. So let's just do that. So string append of the string last of editor pre onto string last of editor post. And I'm going to split this up into a second line because it's easier to see. So there we go. And I'm going to do the same here. All right, so that's the first field. This is the pre-field, and this is the post field, pre-field, post field. All right, now let's move on to the write test. All right. So what happens if you move your cursor right? So let's just do that. So pause the video and try to work through this case. I'm gonna go over spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. All right, so we know at the end of the day, this function has to produce an editor. So we know this much has to happen, right? We have to produce a make editor. All right, because that's what the signature says. So when we press write, here we go. It looks like, all right, so this is the state, right? So hey, space, and then guys. So hey space is all in the pre-field, right? This is the pre-field, and this is what it looks like. And then guys is in the post field, right? Again, you should be sketching this out if you're stuck. All right? Hopefully sketching out all the scenarios so you can, more easily break the problem down into more bite-sized pieces. So if we press the right arrow key, all right? So like so, that means we're going to take the G over here in the post field and then stick it into the pre-field. That's why we have make editor hey G and then UYS on this right side on the post field. All right, so I'm going to Control Z that. All right, so it looks like the motion, again, the motion we want to do is get the G and then stick it in the pre-field. So let's just, we know we need a string append. All right. And we'll move this down a line. All right. And we want to string append the first character. We want to take the G out. So, you know, if you scroll up for the helper functions, there's a helper function that does take the first character, produces only the first character of the given string. So given ABC, produce A. So we want that G. So so string append string first of the left side. Well, the right side, I mean, the post, right? Because the G is in post over here. So let's just, you know, copy this part from our template. So there we go. And we want to string append the G onto that of editor pre. Editor pre should come first, right? So here's right, hey, and then G. Yes, because it was the other way around. The G would be like way in the left side, and we want it on the right side. All right, so there we go. So that's the pre-field done. Let's move on to the post field. So press Control I to redent. Why is it all the way over here on the right? String append, make it error. Okay. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna go like so. All right, and then that's where the ... goes. All right, so now for the post field, what happens to the post field? It looks like we only want UYS, right? We want this G out of the way because it moved to the pre-field. So we want something that takes the rest, and that is string rest in our helper function. So string rest, string first, string rest, right? Produces the rest of the string, excluding the first character. So given ABC, take that A out, right? I only want the rest, which is BC. So that seems to fulfill our needs. So we need to do the string rest of editor post. All right. Now let's keep going. So that's left, right. We did the backspace. All right, now we got to do insertion. All right, so, you know, this is hey guys. So something like, let's see, this is all the left characters. So there is all the characters on the left, hey, and then space guys is on the post. We want to insert Z because, you know, the user pressed Z. Therefore, we have to produce a make editor of hey Z space guys. So if we press Z, that should reflect this data. So this is the else case. All right, so pause the video and try to work through this problem on your own. I'm going for spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. All right, so for this case, let's see, we want to insert it only to the left side. So that means only the pre gets inserted into, because if we look at our data description, I scrolled too far, right? Pre is the text before the cursor. So we only want to insert it to the, you know, to the left side of the cursor, right? The right side remains unaffected. So it's going to be, you know, again, space guys. All right, so we have KE, again, this is KE right here. We want to stick that at the end of the pre-field. So let's just copy this. We know we have to do a string append. All right, and I'm going to space this down for more space. Of the pre-field and then the key event. All right, so which is KE, because that's the given parameter right over here. All right, and usually, you know, I should have templated this as ... KE and then ... WS, just to remind you guys that, hey, you guys have these in the environment, because it's very easy to forget, again, when you're starting off programming, that, you know, it's hard to be aware of what you can use and what you can do. So sorry for that. So string append editor pre of KE, so that inserts, you know, the Z's and anything we need. And editor post stays exactly the same. So space guys and space guys. So let's just do that. So editor post. There we go. Of the given editor. All right. So I noticed that, you know, the world state is WS and the input variable is E. So let's just change this to E, and then we'll like rename it later. Because if it was WS, then it's going to say, hey, E is not defined anywhere in this environment, right, in this function. In fact, let me just show you. So control to run. And let's see. Editor, pre-expects editor, given, you know, this number. So E is it's a numbered constant. So I can't even use E right here. All right, let me check syntax and then let me see if I can change this. Check syntax. All right, so let it load. There we go. So rename, I would call it ED for editor. All right, there we go. Like so. And all of our tests pass. All right, so now let's move on to the render function. So pause the video and try to work through the solution on your own. I'm gonna go for spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. All right, so I'm assuming that you guys took a good swing at it. So there is the signature, next is the purpose. So produce image of the given editor. All right, signature, purpose, stub. So at the end of the day, this has to produce an image. So let's just stub this out and use the empty image as a dummy to run against our tests. So check expect, and then we can do render, and then we make editor of, let's say, hey, and then space guys. All right. So the image that this should produce, right? There we go. We need to use a sort of overlay here, because we're going to overlay. Is there a background? Yeah, there is a background. So with height, background, cursor, text size, and text color are all constants. So let's overlay this onto, let's overlay the text of the string hey. And again, you would need to pause the video and, you know, search in help desk for all the image functions, right? In this case, I happen to know them. So text, and then when we want to turn, all right, I'm going to make it look like this. Hey, and then we want, you know, the font size next. So text size, you can use that constant and text color. All right, so what comes right after the text right here, right? It's the cursor, the red cursor. So right beside that is the red cursor. So we can use the beside here, all right? And then say, hey, right beside this hey text is the cursor itself. And then what's all the way to the right side? Well, it's space guys. So we're going to take the post field, convert that to a image of a string. So space guys. Up, there we go. And then text size, and then text color. All right, so let's just run our test against our our examples. Overlay expects 2 arguments, only found 1, so overlay beside. Looks like I forgot to overlay it on top of the background, right? This white background. So there we go. And empty image differs from hey, and then the red cursor, and then guys. All right, let's do one more example for good measure. So something like, you know, I guess where it's all the way on the right side, we have no text here on the right side. So everything is to the left of the red cursor. So it should produce this image right here. All right, so in this case, you know, we take the pre-text right over here. That should be there. And then there's nothing here. So, you know, this empty string like so. So we should see a cursor way at the end like this. And so we do. All right, so this should be all the mental scaffolding needed to, you know, finish the problem, right? So now really pause the video and try to work through the solution on your own. I'm going for spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. All right, so I'm assuming that you guys took a good swing at it. You may or may not need to write more tests to help you flush this out. But let me just start replacing the stub, right? And then let's just use the template as a starting point, because we need those 2 fields, right? We most likely want to take it apart like so, render, and I'm going to name this ed. All right, and then let's see, what do we want to do here? Well, we want to do an overlay, and then let's see, you want to put these text beside each other. So looking at my examples, like so. All right, so we had the overlay, we had the beside, and we want to turn the text. So the pretty field, we want to turn that into text with the text size and the given text color constant. Right, and right beside, you know, the left, right, the pre field is the cursor itself, because the data definition says that, hey, editor, right, the pre-field is all the text before the red cursor. And then we want to do the same for the post field. So it should be text, right, turn the string of the post field to an image of the text. And then we want the text color and text size to be exactly the same, like so. All right, and all the tests should pass. Overlay expects 2 arguments. Overlay, 2 arguments. That's 1 argument. Okay, I forgot to pass the background again. So overlay all this on top of the background, like so. And now all the tests should pass. And so they do. All right, so I'm going to quit this solution application. All right, and I'm going to type in main of make editor, and then 2 strings. And then this is the one that we just wrote. So when I press shift, it, inputs the word shift rather than, being a modifier. Same with alt, well, control, and etc. And, but it does work for all the lowercase letters. So let me type in like ASDF, hey guys. So that means we need to fix that, right? This is not really part of the problem, but it's sort of challenge part. So we need a condition here, right? So I pause the video and try to ponder what condition, what restriction we need to place here to stop the shift key and the control key from, inserting the word shift rather than just being a modifier. All right, so I'm gonna go over spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. All right, so a pattern is that, when we press A, we get only the letter A. And since the shift and control key spit out the word shift and control, the difference is that for the alphanumeric characters like A, B, C, D, and etc., they are 1 length long. So the condition should be key equal KE. So if the key, well, we don't need to test the key itself. We need to get the string length of the key, and then say if it's equal to 1, then we will add it to the end of the pre-field. All right, so I'm going to run this, and this is where you write a test to handle that case. All right, so there we go. And if I press shift, nothing happens, and well, it actually crashes. So all the questions results were false, right? So, shift is not, backspace, shift is not left, shift is not right, and shift is not it's not a length of 1, right? String length of shift is 4 characters. But it does work in all the other cases where, if I don't ever press shift and control, it works fine. So like so. All right, so it's another edge case we kind of broke here. So we need else. What happens if I press the shift key? Well, we don't want anything to happen, right? We don't want to insert anything. And yeah, so we'll just spit back the editor, right? Given handle key is going to consume an editor. We're saying, hey, if you press any other key that's not, of length 1, like, the ABC alphanumerics, or if it's not right, or it's not left, or it's not backspace, then just spit back out the editor, and that should fix problems. All right, like so. And it's coloring it black because there's no test for that, but that's fine. We can always write that in. So, hey guys, and if I press shift, right, I'm pressing shift right now, it's not crashing the editor. I'm pressing control right now, that's not, inserting the word control, right? And if I press shift, it also works modifying the keys like so, right? Capitalizing. All right. So, this purpose statement should have been updated. So produce the given editor with the functionality described by the problem statement for the sake of time, because I guess I could go up here and then, copy and paste all this down. But anywho, that is about it for the editor problem. Thank you for watching, He-Man. If you wish to interact with more of your kind, join our Discord linked in the description or on screen. If you want to aid in my quest for world domination, consider hitting the sub button. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it, thumbs down if you didn't. Any questions, comments, or suggestions, fire away below. Also, check out the annotations on screen for the next relevant video.